What's up, people? Now we back with a video to where I should have been did this. I'm late as fuck on this though, but I've been wanting to touch base on this. As you guys know, I like to talk about topics. The main topic that everybody is talking about, I can't get away from it. I'm on the internet all the fucking time, so you know I have to see the shit constantly, and plus they put it out there. The slapping.
2, 1, go! Game!
I put my pants on.
This slap is so huge that it's compared to Thanos' snap in the MCU.
What is this? What the hell is happening?
Keep my wife's name out your f***ing mouth!
Okay.
Oh God.
Literally, the whole world changed after Will Smith went up on that stage and smacked the fuck out of Chris Rock. There's been a couple videos. I wanted to talk about the first video, but I just thought it wasn't going to be a purpose for it because everybody else had to take on it. I really didn't want to chime into the subject that much. You know, I thought it was tedious. But I just want to give a different perspective as I'm seeing this shit every single day on this new video that just popped up. So where Jada Smith is recording Will Smith inside his own fucking house. And he clearly looks, you know, like, bitch, stop filming me. And she still keeps going. So I kind of want to do a deep dive on this video and tell you guys exactly what I feel about what's going on. I'm going to have a different opinion than everybody else. I've seen basically every video on this shit on YouTube. So I think it's going to be interesting for you guys to hear my take. So yeah, let's get into this foolishness. This shit is crazy.
You know Estelle Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining?
Hold up a second. Look how uncomfortable this motherfucker look. If anybody been in a position to where they've been uncomfortable, to where it's like, yo, I clearly don't want this right now. You can tell by my mannerisms. When a motherfucker do this to his face when somebody's talking to him and he's looking around, this is a clear indication of, I'm uncomfortable. I don't want you doing what the fuck you doing, so why you still doing it? Catch a hint.
Our relationship.
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me
Oh my goodness.
if you could film me.
Estelle, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Don't.
The level of disrespect. The level of fucking disrespect. The fact that she is acting like he's doing something wrong by not wanting to get filmed in his own house is mind-blowing to me. And I'm saying this for a reason, because at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you guys my collective thoughts on what I think about this. So I'm not about to stop anymore. I'm just gonna play this shit through.
Cause she don't just.
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter. Okay.
He about to
You
cry.
can't just use me for social media and not, you know, don't just start rolling. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch us stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell?
This bitch is a narcissist. Now, the reason why I'm pausing it right here is because it's going to go into another clip. It's going to go into another clip of a red table talk, again, of Jada bringing up some shit about this particular subject. But we're going to see. We're going to see in a minute. But I want to talk about this first part before we move on to that. Now, as you can clearly see throughout the entire section, right? This dude is uncomfortable, and it shows you his position in his marriage right now. This dude has no power. He knows who he's with. Any man who gets married to a woman, I don't care who you are. I don't care how blind and naive you are. Will Smith is clearly not naive. He's a superstar. He's been around this world. He's probably been with tons of women. He got women throwing themselves at this dude nonstop. So he knows what he can get. He knows what he's worth. He knows all this shit. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because for him to be in this situation to where a woman is in his house, doesn't respect his space, doesn't respect his fame, his money, his bag, his image, his reputation. She don't respect none of that shit. This is what I'm going to say about this. I think this is all a part of Will's need to fulfill a void. Yeah, so what I mean about filling a void for Will Smith, I think if you've been as rich and as famous as Will Smith is, and this situation just proves how famous Will Smith actually is. Because if this was anybody else, this will not be this big. Everybody around the world heard about this slap. Everybody around the world knows about Will Smith. If he got dropped in the middle, in a random place on earth somewhere, somebody will recognize him. That's how famous this dude is. So with that being said, I believe that because Will Smith is so famous, and he's been famous for so long, like before I was even born, for you to be that famous for so long, you checked off all the boxes on the checklist, whatever, you did everything. Everybody knows you, you gained the approval of everybody, and your goal back then before you started acting was to become the biggest actor in the world, and you achieved it. You achieved it in music, you achieved it in the acting game, and to me, personally, I believe that Will Smith is up there with like Denzel, those type of people. He's a top tier A-list actor. So if you conquered the world, basically, what else is there for? What else is there for you to do? None of you guys can relate to that, and especially the average person can relate to that. The thing about me, like, is I'm able to take myself out of the equation and put myself inside of somebody else's shoes. I'm not condoning anything this motherfucker does, trust me. What he did was completely wrong. I shouldn't even have to say that because y'all know that. But what I'm basically saying is I'm able to take myself out of the equation and put myself in a position to where I can kind of see what's going on in this thought process. Because if you've been that famous for so long, you've done everything. And as you can tell, this dude throughout his career, he's been trying, okay, let me get into the social media phase. Let me try to do movies after rapping. Let me try to do these sidebar activities to where like he's doing like life challenges. He got specials on the Discovery Channel. He got specials on YouTube. He got a YouTube channel. He's basically going from avenue from avenue. And that's because he's bored. And this is a pure example of a bored guy, because there's no way in hell that a normal guy who has goals, ambitions, and stuff going on with life is going to accept a relationship like this in his household. I think it brings him back to earth in a sick way. In a sick way, how Jada treats him basically brings him down to reality in his mindset in a sick way. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong, but from my perspective, that is the only way a person or a man will subject himself to abuse from a woman who clearly does not love him. The only explanation I can give you is that he's bored. That's what I believe.
The day after her 37th birthday, I hired a team to orchestrate her 40th birthday.
Look how excited
Look how excited
he looks. He's super excited, like he's expecting. Man, the difference. And what is wrong with his family? Do you see how his family looks at the table? They look like they just can't stand this motherfucker talking. They like, why is he opening up his mouth? Why is he? Here we go again with the story. It looks like that. This is
team. I traced Mommy's family roots.
Ooh.
Her 40th birthday.
Look how excited he is.
My thing.
There's gonna be a splash.
There's gonna be a splash. Mary J. Blige performed. I debuted the film. All of that. It was gonna be the thing that lifted her out of this.
Look at their face.
Crisis, and it was gonna be my deepest, most beautiful proclamation of love. And she's told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego. Ooh. Crushed, right?
This is embarrassing. It's straight up embarrassing. And it's a sick, for people on the outside looking in, it's embarrassing to see this type of shit because he represents so many things, and we've been knowing Will Smith for a while. So we see things like this and we're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like the males especially, the men who look up to Will Smith, especially, and there's a lot of them. Jordan Lucas made a whole song on Will Smith. I want to be like Will and shit like that, right? Like the persona that you see on about Will Smith is being shattered now because we're starting to see like, damn, this nigga is a simp. He's a straight simp. He's doing all this shit for a woman who don't love him. And as you can see, the body language of this dude explaining this story that he was clearly excited about. This dude put all these resources into her birthday, and she could give a shit. She could care less. So for us on the outside, I'm not saying from Will's perspective, because he's probably getting what he needs in a sick fucking way. He's probably getting what he needs. But for us on the outside looking in, we like, this is terrible, and it's ridiculous. And it's like, how come you can't see this? Divorce her. She don't love you. She wouldn't even pee on you. She wouldn't even spit in your direction. I guarantee if Will lost his money, she would leave the next day. Along with Willo. Because Willow is just fucking weird to me. Like, I'm just gonna be straight up and honest. Willow is a weirdo. She's a fucking weirdo. She's like one of those woke, super woke weirdos. Anybody who button they shit up all the way up to the top is a fucking hippie. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like that look and everything. Like they're like soy boy hippies, like modern day young hippies. What's going on, fam? But she's a fucking hippie. She's weird, and it's because of their family dynamic. Jada is the same thing. They're all fucking nuts. Their whole family is nuts. And the only reason why we're saying this and care about this shit is because Jada Pinkett put their whole life out there on this Red Table Talk. So we have no choice but to talk about it. I don't want to know this shit, but every time I turn on YouTube, there's always a video on them like, oh, the slap, what happened after the slap? So I'm like, you know what, fuck it. Okay, I'll address it. Now this part right here, we're going to move on to something else. We're going to move on to the letter that Willow Smith actually sent Will Smith. Wrote to Tupac. Now, mind you, this video is from a dude who I watch all the time. It's called A Poor Man's Podcast. This dude is very, very good, so check him out. But this dude happened to find this video to where it's actually a letter written from Willow Smith. You can tell it's written from Willow Smith. It looked like a child written it. To Tupac, who she said is allegedly, I know you're probably alive still. Check this out. Oof.
I know you are alive someplace. I think that mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so mommy and me can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Can you imagine being a father, hearing your daughter saying that I wish another man that my mother was in a previous relationship with, that she clearly still loves, to my father who provided this beautiful estate that we live in. I don't ever have to work a day in my life. I don't have to do anything because Will Smith's my father. Do you know how ungrateful that sounds? And I'm putting a teeny tiny blame on Willow Smith. But in general, what is Jada Pinkett? Well, we already know. Jada Pinkett, because Willow wasn't even alive during the reign of Tupac. So how does she know anything about that? And what is it to her to say that I wish you were here so that me and mommy could be happy? She included her in this equation. She didn't just say, I wish you were here so mom could finally be happy. She said, I wish that you were here so me and mommy can be happy, which means she's including her. That's blatant disrespect. She's telling her daughter all these good stories about Tupac and shit like that, and she's basically comparing it to her existing father, and she turned her own daughter away from her father to have the audacity to write a letter to say that I wish that another man that my mama was fucking and who she still loves today, and she's with my father, I wish that man back in the day will come back so that me and mommy could be happy. What the fuck does that say? This situation is sick. It is sick. It's weird. It's not my life. Like, so I'm just hey, like, shit. Like, the only thing I can do is just watch this shit unfold, because I'm going to see it, even though I'm not looking for it. I see videos all the time on this shit. You're not getting away from it. Like I said, this is the biggest thing since Thanos did the snap in the MCU. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, Will Smith basically, man, he spiraled out of control. What more can I say about this that haven't already been said? This is a dumb situation. I really don't want to hear about this no more. But, like, it's still entertaining, you know what I'm saying? Like, to see the shit unfold. And unfortunately, too, no, not unfortunately, Will Smith is self-sacrificing now because apparently the Oscars banned him for 10 whole years. Now, mind you, Will Smith is already old. He's getting older by the day. So 10 years is a big deal. That means that any movie he creates later on in the future, he's not going to get an Oscar. That's if he's going to get the roles. Netflix already pulled a bunch of roles from him. Bad Boys 4 and I Am Legend, which he was going to be starring in with Michael B. Jordan. Or, having a part in with Michael B. Jordan. Those are off the table. So he self-sacrificed himself for a woman who wouldn't even spit in his direction. It's a weird time we living in. Apparently, Will Smith slap is more important than Ukraine and coronavirus. So, I'm hearing more about this slap than I'm hearing about the Ukraine shit in fucking Corona. Will Smith done took over the world. So yeah. Without further ado, guys, that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think about it. I'm not gonna make another video about this no more. I'm not gonna be like these dudes creating like 80,000 videos on Will Smith and Jada. This is all I'm gonna say. So, you know, yeah, whatever. I'm up out of here. I'm sick of this shit.